Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be how the narcissist tests you. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So the narcissist was always testing you. They were testing you in the beginning of the relationship. They were testing you throughout the relationship. They were testing you at the end of the relationship. And post-relationship, at times, they were still testing you. Now, when the beginning of the relationship, what they were doing most likely was wearing a mask to manipulate you. They were assimilating themselves with you. They were acting like they were like-minded, that they had the same hopes, goals, dreams, and aspirations as you did. This made it very simple for them to infiltrate your life. It made it very simple for them to act like they actually were like you and they cared about you. We now know that the narcissist only cares about one person. It is themselves. They have no love and they have no empathy, but what they can do is they can change the mask of manipulation on a dime, any which way the wind blows. If the next new shiny object, i.e. the new supply, crosses their path at work, in traffic, when they're in an organization meeting or a hobby group or something, they will begin to switch their energy to that person. And we now know that each and every narcissistic relationship does, in fact, have an expiration date. And I'm sorry to say it, but yours and mine, they were no different. But now we understand, we have boundaries now. And this is why we go no contact, etc., block the narcissist, delete them, remove all fly monkeys and people associated with them. But what the narcissist was doing when they were testing you, in the very beginning, they were seeing how much you would tolerate, how much money, as an example, you would spend on them. Maybe you did or didn't have deep pockets, but if every time you guys went out to dinner or you went on a vacation or you went to an event or a concert or something, if you were footing the bill, even if you couldn't afford it, the narcissist got accustomed to that. And they were saying to themselves, wow, this person, I can really get some money out of them and I can have some life experiences and I can act like I care about being with them, but all I really care about is going to that concert that they are paying for, and I will ghost them or disappear and look for other sources of supply or maybe triangulate them with somebody else, but I'm not gonna make that experience pleasurable for them. I'm talking about you, the person that is watching the video. But that was a test, which leads me to triangulation. The narcissist is a master triangulator. What they will do is they will try to put a person who does or doesn't exist between you and them. And they will say that, example, that person's giving them so much attention, or that person tells them they look beautiful, or they speak 5 languages, or whatever it is. And then that's supposed to make you scratch your head and say, well, wait, I tell you you're beautiful. I tell you you're handsome. I'm always here for you. What about me? And then they will discount you. They'll say, yeah, but this person does it so much more often. What that's meant to do is make you feel super small, and it's meant to devalue you. It's also meant to have you on the hook so you keep on working for the narcissist. And triangulation is my least favorite thing that these people do, but in the beginning of that relationship, I can assure you, if you go back in time, you were triangulated probably more than once. Example, the narcissist sometimes will say something like this to you in the beginning of a relationship. They will say something similar to this. Are you the jealous type? Do you get jealous? Well, right there, why would somebody say that sentence to you? First of all, it indicates now that we have the wisdom and we know what's going on. It means that that person's a jealous person. Because if you were not a jealous person, you wouldn't even say anything like that. But what they were doing is planting a seed in the beginning of the relationship. So you would be scratching your head when you heard that, and yes, I did hear that, and you'd be saying, I'm not jealous. Like, why would you even? Well, they're setting you up. They're seeing what your reaction was, and now they know that you are a prime candidate to be triangulated. So these are a couple things how you were being tested: financial abuse, triangulation. Other ones would be waiting. How often do you have to wait for the narcissist? In the beginning of the relationship and certainly throughout the relationship? Well, you probably waited for them way more than you should have. Meaning if you would text them once you were in the relationship, maybe they would get back to you. Maybe they would read the text and just drop the letter K. Maybe they would read the text and claim that their battery died so they couldn't respond back to you. But either way you cut it, the narcissist did not put you at the top of the food chain. You were not their number one priority. Once they knew they had their dirty fangs sunken into you, you went way down below on the totem pole. Now, you may have thought otherwise. You were supposed to think otherwise. But the narcissist was testing you. Remember, the narcissist collects people. They collect relationships. They collect broken hearts and other people's money and anything they possibly can get. So once the narcissist did a lot of the heavy lifting and work to get you placed in that trauma bond, in that narcissistic fog in the beginning of the relationship, once they knew they had you, well, then now they began to pull back. And that's when they began to groom other sources of supply or not be as available as they used to be because they were testing you. And this is what the narcissist does. That's why the narcissistic abusive cycle, it's the most challenging thing to break free from. And it's the most trying, debilitating relationship you'll ever be a part of. That's why this is the relationship you need to heal from. But you were being tested in the beginning of the relationship and all throughout it too. Think about this. How many times did the narcissist just tell you, hey, I have to go away, girls' night, girls' weekend, or guys' weekend, we're not going to be around. And you would be like, well, we made plans. Why would you do that? And they're like, no, so-and-so said this, so we're going to go. And they would be out the door. Their bags would be packed. They'd be gone. They wouldn't explain much more to you. They would say, by the way, I have no cell phone service, so don't even try and contact me. And then that would be a Friday afternoon or evening. Maybe they would come back Sunday, maybe Monday, who knows. But whenever they would get back, they would look all fully recharged, like $1 million and everything. Well, back then we didn't know what we know now. So did the narcissist really go to a girls' weekend or a guys' weekend? Maybe, possibly, maybe not. We never know where, when we are with the narcissist, we don't know where they are mentally. And when we are not with the narcissist, we never know where they are because they never tell the truth. They will drop little hints of where they are or where they're not. But think about it. If you're in a stable, healthy relationship, would you just pack up and go away for a weekend on a girls' weekend or a guy's weekend? No. Would you? You wouldn't do that at all. Number 2, you'd be with your partner. Number 3, you would make sure that you did have cell phone service in case something went wrong, specifically in this day and age. So those things didn't add up, but this is what the narcissist would do. And they would see how you would behave when they got back home. Let's say they got back home Monday. Well, then you'd be asking them questions about what happened, where they were with, who they were with, what they were doing, etc. And then they would just flip it back on you. You're so insecure, and you wonder why I go on these weekend trips. What's your problem? You're the only person that challenges me. You're the only person that asks me these questions. I don't owe you anything. I don't have to tell you one thing. So they would say things like that. Or maybe they did give you answers. Maybe they told you a couple things. Then you had to figure out were they real or not. But back then you didn't know what you know. So anything the narcissist has ever said, you need to take with a grain of salt. However, maybe the narcissist was with the new supply. Now, again, I'm not trying to trigger you or upset you, but these relationships, when you're in it, you can't see it. And you experience some of the most bizarre, strange behaviors of a person, i.e. the narcissist, that you couldn't even fathom somebody could behave that way. But that's what happens. That's why when you would tell your friends or family members or people that what some of these things that you experienced, unless somebody went through the cycle, they're going to say that you are the person that has concerns. You're the person that has issues, but it's not you. It's that the narcissist wants you or wanted you isolated. They wanted to continue to be able to extract all of your resources from you while you were isolated, while you were a shell of yourself, while you were the unpaid helper, the walking apology, the sounding board, the chauffeur, the pool boy, the errand person, the accountant, the person who paid the bills, etc. You had many hats when you were in that narcissistic relationship, and more hats were being placed on you, and the weight of that relationship was placed on your shoulders. It wasn't placed on the narcissist's shoulders. The narcissist does not love anybody. They can't love anybody, and they have no empathy. All they do is care about what people do for them. And this is why the narcissist is like a tyrant. They're like a person who just is entitled, and they believe that they can do whatever they want to people once they get those people stuck in the trauma bond. And in fact, they are true. That part is true. Once you're in the trauma bond, you're helpless because you don't know where you are because you weren't taught this in school. But once you break the chains, and once you break the 4 ties, the emotional tie, the financial tie, the physical tie, and the spiritual tie, then you reach the pinnacle of indifference. Now, having said these things, other tests were going on when you were in that relationship also. Your friendships, that wedges were being driven between you and all of your friends from 10, 20, 30, 40 years, they were being tested also because the narcissist was driving wedges between you and all those people. And they had the smear campaign turned up high, and they were trying to break those relationships, again, to isolate you. Same thing with your parents. Maybe you married the narcissist. Maybe you were in your 20s when you married the narcissist. Again, you didn't know they were a narcissist, but what did the narcissist tell you? Hey, let's move 500 miles or 500 kilometers away from your hometown because let's get a fresh start. Let's just, we don't need to talk to your parents that often. Let's just go somewhere else. Well, the truth of the matter is, what were they doing? They were trying to get you away from your support system. And the more you stayed in that house with the narcissist, your newlywed, the more they began to control you. The less you were communicating with your parents, the more your parents were getting worried about you, and the less you were thinking for yourself because you were a pawn and a puppet. And this is what the narcissist wants. They want to feed off of a host. The narcissist is a parasite. Many times they don't have jobs. Many times their education isn't even close to what yours is, and they don't care about doing anything other than keeping you stuck and doubting yourself. How many times did the narcissist take a look at your smartphone? They would just pick it up and go through it. And maybe they would find you communicating with a friend from 20 years ago, and maybe it was the same sex as the narcissist, and they would be saying, what's this? What are you doing here? Are you cheating on me? I knew it. I can't believe this. How could you do this? And you're like, relax, that's just a friend from 20 years ago. They are going through some tough times. They wanted to know if I could get them in touch with the other person. See, the narcissist is always looking for a problem. They're always looking for drama. They're always looking to stir the pot. They're always looking to create drama. And many times the narcissist tells on themselves. So when they would say things like, example, are you cheating on me? Well, when they would say that, essentially what they're saying is, I am cheating on you. Now, you weren't supposed to figure this out. You were supposed to stay stuck in the loop. That's what the narcissist, that's how they saw you. Not smart enough, not clever enough, not resilient enough to figure it out, but you did. That's why you're in the community and you're getting your cup full with wisdom. The narcissist continues to test people. Let's take the ending of the relationship. Let's say you were discarded as an example. And if you were, my heart goes out to you. If you weren't and you still ended it yourself, my heart still goes out to you. But let's say you were discarded. Well, that was the most challenging thing that you had been through next to the relationship itself. And then you realize that no one's going to come knock on your door. No one's going to save you. No one's checking in on you because, again, the smear campaign was well underway and you were being tested again. Were you strong enough to survive? Were you strong enough to figure out and find that needle in a haystack that it was a narcissistic relationship? Were you strong enough to put yourself back together? Were you strong enough to go no contact? You see, these were all tests that the narcissist had implemented many times before they met you. The narcissist was a veteran when they met you. They knew how to get people to fall in love with them or to give them whatever they wanted. They knew how to crumble people up like a sheet of paper and throw them away in the freeway. They knew how to try to hoover them back in, which I'll talk about in a minute. The narcissist has been down this rodeo so many times, and they know what will work and what won't work with certain people because they did their homework and their reconnaissance on you in the beginning of the relationship. So all of these tests that the narcissist was throwing at you, and maybe they're still continuing to throw some tests at you right now, these are tests that you must pass, specifically post-relationship. That is why I suggest so strongly on the channel, go no contact, break the ties with these people, heal, slow your life down, stay in the cocoon of boundaries, journal, meditate, see a therapist, heal childhood wounds, watch videos, read, understand that where you are now is not where you will be in 3 months, in 6 months, in 9 months, or in 12 months. But the tests that the narcissist placed upon you, they were everywhere, littered throughout that relationship. Would you continue to give and give and give? And if you did, they wanted to take and take and take. And when they were done, what did they want to do? That's right, they wanted to take more. So now I'll fast forward to the Hoover. Let's say you did get hoovered. And if you did, don't accept a Hoover. It will never, ever, ever benefit you. A Hoover is when the narcissist is checking the temperature of you, checking the pulse of you, seeing if you've healed, seeing if you are strong enough to go no contact, seeing if you've figured out who they are and you finally saw behind the mask, and to see if you are still susceptible to going backwards into that relationship again. Or maybe they're just testing to keep you stuck. But a Hoover will never benefit you. It never has and it never will. But that is another test that the narcissist will throw at you. You will be on the healing path. You will be feeling really good about yourself. And then lo and behold, what happens? Well, maybe you get an envelope placed in your mailbox. Maybe you get an email. Maybe you get a present sent to you from Amazon or something. Or maybe you get a package that is sent to you from the narcissist, and it's something that you don't want to open. See, these are all tests. That's why this is the relationship you need to heal from, and you need to pass the tests. Because the narcissist is hoovering, or they will hoover at times, and not everyone gets a Hoover. And if you don't, consider it a badge of honor. You do not want to hoover. But if you did get hoovered, you need to understand that they're just testing you. They don't want to return any items. They don't want to wish you happy birthday. They don't want to actually write you a handwritten letter telling you how much they love you, because they don't. They're trying to keep you stuck and trapped, and they're hoping that you will break no contact and open that door just a crack so they can kick it wide open at a later date and finish you off. This is what the narcissist does. The narcissist will never change. They will never miraculously one day wake up and be a kind, loving, stable, healthy person. They can't. Specifically because of all the damage that they've inflicted upon people throughout their lives. That's the only thing they know. The narcissist knows how to break relationships. The narcissist knows how to be fake in relationships. The narcissist knows how to get the mask and take it off their face and smash it to the ground. The narcissist knows how to twist the knife in people and to keep them stuck in that narcissistic fog. These are all tests that you passed, or you are passing, or you will pass. And the whole path of the narcissistic abusive cycle post-relationship is to really get the message that not everybody goes through these narcissistic relationships, not everybody gets out of them, not everybody finds the needle in a haystack, and not everybody heals. But you are doing this. You've already found the needle in a haystack. You're already taking steps to insulate and protect yourself. You are on the channel, you're in the community, you're getting your cup full, you're realizing this wasn't just you, you're realizing the narcissist never cared about you, they don't love anybody, they don't even care about their own children, they care about keeping people trapped and taking as much from them as they possibly can, and then discarding them. That's what the narcissist wants to do. But these are all tests that the narcissist threw at you, and they're throwing tests at people right now wherever they are on the planet. Before I close the video, I'll just share this. If you are out of the relationship, you should be fortunate and grateful, and you should be healing. You should not be on dating apps, speed dating, or doing anything that doesn't feel native or natural to you. If you think that the healing path can be accelerated by speed dating or being on dating apps, etc., that's never going to happen. You're going to have to really slow your life down and process things. You're going to have to stay in that cocoon of boundaries and focus. And when you're ready to get out dating, you will know it, but you can't force it, because then you'll be susceptible to doing what? That's right, to falling into another narcissistic relationship. And it's not just with dating, it's with friends, it's with opening the door open just a crack for your narcissistic mom, or etc. Why tempt fate? You've seen it one too many times. And when you see it, you can't unsee it. That's why you need to go no contact. But all these things I'm sharing with you were tests. And the narcissist will continue to test you until you go no contact. And they're just banking. If they threw 100 darts at the board and just one of them stuck, and that's the one that got you to unblock the narcissist, that's all they're counting on. That's why you don't do it. That's why what you do with these people is you close the chapter of the book on them, and you go no contact, and you move forward. And again, eventually you reach the pinnacle of indifference, the mountaintop of indifference. But all these things I'm sharing with you, they were all tests. And right now you're being tested whether you know it or not. And right now, if you haven't gone no contact, I strongly suggest you do it. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You're not alone. Remember that, you're not alone. I love you all. God bless you. And many people, sorry about the train, many people have emailed me or asked me to do some videos about getting back out there in the dating pool post-narcissistic relationship. If that is something that is of interest to you, I can certainly do a couple videos on that, because there are a lot of people that have healed and they're ready to get out there and start dating. And they are curious as to what the steps are and or how to protect themselves and insulate themselves. So if that's something of interest, let me know. Drop comments, I'll do it. Otherwise, I will just let you know. Remember, if you are healed and you're in a great space, be grateful. Take a deep breath, breathe in fully, really absorb the positive energy all around you. Exhale slowly through your nose and say to yourself, wow, I did it. I broke the cycle. I broke the trauma bond. I am stronger than I ever knew. And I am now here next to Andrew at that pinnacle of indifference. If you are not where you want to be, you need to understand there's more work to be done. The healing path is not linear. It will take time. It will take a lot of time, but in your time you will heal. Many of us think that when the relationship ends that it will only take X number of time to get back to where you want to be or to get stronger again. It usually is the healing path. I'll tell you this, no one can ever tell you when you will heal. So if anyone ever gives you a timeline, throw it out the window. They don't know what they're talking about. The other thing I'll tell you is this. The healing path, how to heal, it's a direct correlation as to how much work you place into yourself. How much you really understand about yourself. Because when you were in that relationship, you lost your identity to the narcissist. Before you met the narcissist, you were probably going through life with rose-tinted glasses, or you didn't know exactly who you were. Post-relationship, when you do the deep dive, you will not only learn so much about yourself, which is very, very exciting. It's challenging to go through it, but it's exciting. And when you really know who you are, and you have boundaries in place, etc., then you can identify who everybody else is. And that's when you take the rose-tinted glasses off and you realize that not everybody is A, how they appear to be, B, who they say they are, and C, everything on the planet isn't how it appears to be. But that's what you thought, and that's not reality. Reality is, post-narcissistic relationship, once you've healed, you are changed forever. This is a superpower, and it's a superpower on steroids once you really get the message. So I hope all of this is helping you. I sincerely hope that you guys, everyone on the channel and in the community, are making progress, moving forward each and every day. And remember, you are stronger than you know. You are an amazing, beautiful, bright, shining light. You are resilient. You need to continue to focus on yourself. I'm sending you a big virtual hug and a heart. I love you all. God bless you. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.